30 Days a Black Man, Episode 1. Fade in. Exterior 1947 Mercury, Mississippi Delta, moving, day. Caption, May 26, 1948. A dark green 1947 Mercury 8 town sedan drives fast on a two-lane highway. A dark green 1947 Mercury 8 town sedan drives fast on two-lane U.S. Highway 49 West. The huge car passes vast flat fields of cotton and a weathered, colored cafe. Hundreds, thousands of black sharecroppers, adults and children in overalls and cotton dresses, are strung out in small columns. They are using their hoes to chop away the weeds threatening the baby cotton plants. Interior 1947 Mercury, Mississippi Delta, moving, day. Two black men ride in the front seat. The windows are down, no AC. It's hot and humid. The driver is a large, dark brown black man, John Wesley Dobbs, 66, of Atlanta. Wearing a nice three-piece suit, no tie, and white socks, he's steering with his left hand, waving his right arm and enthusiastically quoting a long passage from Hamlet.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep. Should I go on, Mr. Sprigle?
Dobbs' companion, Ray Sprigle, 61, is bald, wears heavy black-framed glasses, and weighs 210 pounds. A light-skinned Negro from Pittsburgh with European features, he's not as well dressed as Dobbs. A cheap newsboy's cap is on his lap. He's using a penknife to put a point on a pencil.
Yes, please.
Would you rather hear Markham's The Men with the Hoe? Bowed by the weight of centuries he leans upon his hoe and gazes on the ground, the emptiness of ages in his face, and on his back the burden of the world.
No. It does me good to hear Shakespeare. I was kicked out of college long before we got to him.
To die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end. The heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis consummation, devoutly to be wished.
As Dobbs recites Shakespeare, the scenery rolls by. A road sign on US 49 West reads, Indianola, 20. Sprigle reaches in the glove box and takes out a small notebook that sits on an old .32 Colt revolver and a faded box of shells. With his pencil, he writes, except for telephone wires, could be 1860. Interior, dining room, Indianola, night. Sprigle and Dobbs and two other black men, Dr. Vaughn and Willie Kirkland, are in a nice middle-class house. Standing over an expensive dining room table like military commanders, they are looking at a road map of the Mississippi Delta. Dr. Vaughn is giving Dobbs tips on how to be safe in the Delta, which white cotton plantation owners run like a feudal kingdom filled with 500,000 black serfs.
You'll be suspicious in that new car, the Target.
A license plates won't help.
This isn't Atlanta.
I know that for sure.
Don't talk to a white person if you can help it.
Don't talk to a sharecropper on the road. Don't drive onto a plantation.
If a sheriff stops you, play dumb. Say you're doing church work or selling insurance. Don't even think the word NAACP.
Sounds like we're spies getting ready to sneak into Nazi Germany.
That's about right.
And we're the wrong color.
Exterior, 1947, Mercury, Mississippi Delta, moving, day. A road sign on US Highway 82 reads, Greenville 23. The endless cotton fields are scattered with sharecroppers. On a dirt road near the highway, a white foreman, or rider, with a pistol on his hip, sits casually on a horse and talks to two white plantation employees in a pickup truck. 5 small black school kids walk single file along the dirt road toward a school somewhere in the far distance. A yellow school bus with white kids on board passes the black kids, raising a cloud of dust.
Buses for white children only?
Mississippi spends more each year carrying white children in buses than educating Negro children.
Another crime of the master race.
It's the way it is, Mrs. Sprigle. It's Jim Crow.
Trailing half a mile behind Dobbs's car is a white 1946 Ford coupe with two white men in their mid-30s in the front seat.
Hold on, my friend. Lunch is not far.
Interior, Sherman's Restaurant, Greenville, day. Sprigle and Dobbs are eating lunch in a black restaurant on Nelson Street, the vibrant black commercial district of downtown Greenville. For sale by the cash register are the national editions of the Chicago Defender and the Pittsburgh Courier, the country's two largest and most important black newspapers. Dobbs is reading Greenville's white daily paper, the Delta Democrat-Times. The main headline on May 26, 1948 is, UN effort to stop Palestine war fails. Sprigle is paging through the Pittsburgh Courier.
What's important in Harding Carter's paper today?
The usual troubles of a troubled world.
Other headlines on the crowded front page include stories on a crisis in the Finnish cabinet, the rising price of cotton, and resumption of labor talks between Chrysler and striking United Auto Workers.
Here's a story to please the local folks. Ambitious civil rights program appears bogged down until after November elections.
Hardly newsworthy.
You ever meet the famous Mr. Carter?
I'd like to. He's a great newspaper man. Time magazine says he's the liberal voice of the New South.
He's Eleanor Roosevelt's by the Southland standards.
Should we swing by and tell him why we're snooping around his backyard?
To you Northerners, he looks like a paragon of white tolerance, but he's the best friend Jim Crow's ever had.
The waitress brings Sprigle a second piece of peanut butter pie.
And I hear he likes to shoot Yankee reporters who come down and stir up trouble among us happy Negroes.